Our top story tonight, the week we reach is a milestone. The first 100 days of Donald Trump's second term. Democrats, the state-run legacy media mob, they're not taking it well. They need help. They need therapy. On Sunday, Spartacus and several other Democratic lawmakers sat on the Capitol steps for 12 hours for a public therapy session. They had singing and everything. Take a look.
This is a time to choose, and we're either going to choose the side of the American people, or we're going to choose this cruel budget that Republicans are trying to jam down the throats of the American people.
We can't keep doing things like business as usual. We have to think of creative, new things to do. And so Hakeem and I thought, let's sit on the steps of the Capitol.
Think about what the framers did to try to make the president not a king. Right. Not to have a unitary executive. And Trump is doing the exact opposite.
And what Grant said is there are but two parties in America right now, patriots and traitors.
I will build this world from love.
I will build this world from love.
Not too bad. Yada-die, die-die, yada-die, die.
Okay, cruel budget that robs from your children and grandchildren. You heard all that right. Amid all the singing and the whining, the highest-ranking Democratic member of the House said, quote, there are but two parties in America right now, patriots and traitors. Which party am I a part of? I'd like to be a patriot. But wait, it gets worse. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has big dreams of one day becoming president. By the way, he'll be about as lucky as Gavin Newsom. And over the weekend in New Hampshire, the governor all but threatened half the country with violence. Take a look.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
Not a moment's of peace, none. Can we point out the obvious here? The Democratic Party is not Democratic at all. After losing an election to President Trump, after he was shot and survived two assassination attempts, two would-be assassins, Democrats have since invoked a civil war. They have called for chaos. They have encouraged their followers to riot, applauded acts of violence and, frankly, domestic terrorism against Tesla's, their owners. Low-level, far-left judges have also waged an unprecedented level of lawfare against our Constitution, the executive rights that are endowed to a duly elected president and the Trump agenda. And, of course, Democrats, they have already filed impeachment articles against the president. Yet again, what a shock. Take a look.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. Today, I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment. I won't be silent, and I'm calling on all my colleagues, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, to stand up with me. Enough is enough.
Okay, it's not just the idiotic Democrats in the House and the Senate. Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff is also calling for the president's impeachment. Look at this exchange.
Why are there no calls for impeachment? This is unacceptable. I will not live in an authoritative country, and neither will any of these people. You can do more.
There is no doubt that this president's conduct has already exceeded any prior standard for impeachment by the United States House of Representatives.
Brian Kemp will wipe the floor with him. They literally do not care at all about the quality of your life or the will of the American people. Instead, it's day in, day out, Democrats obsessed with getting revenge, overturning the results of the last election. The Democrats, they have their first 100-day verdict, and that's in. And it is a disaster. Multiple polls now have them in the 20s. The country has witnessed nothing but a bunch of petulant children embracing irrational anger, extreme radicalism, with pointless sit-ins, chanting and singing and dropping F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb, and of course their bingo paddles and their inability to stand for mothers that lost children or a young man that beat cancer. And perhaps no one in the entire country has been more obsessed with getting Trump than the congenital liar himself, Adam Schiff. But recently, after a short stint in his own state, he went to Target. Somebody robbed his car. Imagine that. Even Schiff seemed to realize that his party has gone completely off the rails. Nice of him to finally go to a Target. Take a look.
I went to this Target in South San Francisco, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm getting the toiletries I'm going to need for my next 2 days in the city. I had to get the clerk, which is hard to find, to unlock the shampoo or the whatever. So that's one thing. And then I get to the cashier. The cashier asked me if I want one of those Target bags with a little bullseye on it. And I said, yes, that Target bag is going to be my luggage for the next 2 days. And she asked me what happened, and I told her, and basically said, in not so many words, yeah, Democrats are and I thought, you know, if the cashier in South San Francisco at 10 o'clock at night believes that Democrats are because the shampoo is locked up and my stuff got stolen out of the trunk, we've got a major problem.
He's a senator from the state. How could he not know all that was going on in his state? And I have bad news for my friends in California. Nothing's going to get better with the likes of Adam Schiff, radical Gavin Newsom, or any other Democrat in charge of that state. Their policies, their beliefs are insane. And as we speak tonight, with few exceptions, there are really only two types of Democrats: far-left losers obsessed with hating Donald Trump and are petrified of their ultra-radical woke base. And that ultra-radical base, led by the Squad, AOC, Grandpa Bernie, Jasmine Crockett, their bizarre focus is on Green New Deal communism, the so-called fight the oligarchy. Now there's a civil war brewing between the radical and the super radical sides of the Democratic Party, but there's no moderates left. Take a look.
Let me ask you about something that your colleague, Senator Alyssa Slotkin, said. She said Democrats should stop using the term oligarchy because it's a phrase that doesn't resonate with all Americans. Are you missing a chance to speak to a wider audience, Senator?
Well, geez, we had 36,000 people out in Los Angeles, 34,000 people in Colorado. We had 30,000 people in Folsom, California, which is kind of a rural area. I think the American people are not quite as dumb as Ms. Slotkin thinks they are.
President Trump has totally broken the Democratic Party in 100 days. And as of now, there is no one capable of picking up the pieces. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.